early in the morning.
And sometimes you have an 8 o'clock though, right? Like
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but you know, I saw you and I'm like, I'm just gonna mark out the 8.
I'm so happy. I got up at 6:30. I was like, this is exciting.
Right.
Seriously, we've been doing enough.
Hello, everyone. I'm with the lovely Shayla, and we're about to remove her gems of nails, which turned out super, super, super cute. And I didn't video these. I haven't videoed in a while, so mine are even like the same. She copied what I was going on. So anyway, oopsies, volume down, because then I'm going to hear myself chuckling and talking, which is not good. Anyway, so I wanted to show you guys hers before we went ahead and took them off. This is actually just black, and then I used foil gel, and I used this set, which I have on our website, which is so fun. I used this one. Yeah, this one with the blue. And then I just stuck some glitter right over the top of that and sealed it in with Trinity. They look pretty good. You know, sometimes it's hard because foil will start to separate, and I've found that if I file the edge and seal it with Trinity at the end as a top gloss, that's the top gloss I'm using is Trinity, then I end up with much better final results, and I don't get so much of the separation. I haven't had any on mine. Mine I put on, and then I was painting over it, and it didn't turn out near as cute, and they're older. So, and I did it on white because I was like, oh, I want to make sure the foil pops, and I should have done on black because then you see this little white halo where the foil was, whereas on black you don't see that. So, do it on black. All right, so we're going to turn on this. And we're just going to hang out with Shayla today because I know y'all want to.
I want to hang out too.
Because Shayla's the best. Now, Shayla was just telling me she hurt herself. Let's see that again.
Yes.
So on this hand, what did you tell me?
I smashed it really well, but I thought I had broken my finger. But it was okay when I saw
no,
my
see,
nail
you
was
said you
intact.
thought you had died.
Oh, yeah, I did. But I was alive when my nail wasn't broken. I was cool. Now, my finger, I thought it was
so
fractured.
Cool.
But I'm alive because it wasn't broken.
Yeah, so funny. So yeah, this is like I said, I just put the foil on, and I mean it's not 100% perfect. Every now and then you'll get little bits, but you know, you look at it, it's not obvious. Like you guys have to be a little bit less hard on yourself about it not transferring 100% because people don't care.
Mm-mm.
They just want them to look cool.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, I'm gonna turn this up a little bit, and we're going to zip these off. So you're going to see that there is black on the bottom. So she brought in a picture because I'm like, why is my speed? My speed was down.
Yeah, you tell them why I had to bring in a picture.
Yeah, because my nails are old, and when normally she walks in, she looks at my hand, said, what are we doing today? And then we do that. And I was looking forward to redoing mine because I knew I could do it better on someone else than on myself, because when I put the foil on myself, I really messed it up. So then I was like, ooh, I have to fix this, I have to fix that, and I ended up repainting over the whole dang thing. So mine are basically hand painted with a foil underneath that was just assisting me to where to paint.
Assisting, I love it.
Because I have a harder time getting a foil to be smooth on my own nails, so all right, I don't need to take much off. Shayla doesn't even tell me how much to take off or what she wants. She just has me do whatever.
Yeah, they just look good anyway, so I'm cool.
So when it starts getting too crazy, I shorten them a little bit because I like to keep them pretty balanced enough as possible.
And we make so many other decisions in our lives. Dinner, breakfast, what's clean, what's not. I don't want to make a decision. I just want them to be pretty, and whatever you got work for me. And so today, I'm doing a picture that I found on Jess's social media. So I'm copying somebody else who had hotness.
I want to say, I think that was, I have another client named Jessica. I think that's Jessica's hands.
Oh, those were hotness, so I'm copying you, my love.
It's been a while. I did those. I think it's been a while since I did those, but
I love them.
I remember how, so that's good.
What color? You said what color?
I know. I was like, those inks are. Hey, Delia. So it's my last day before I head off for camp. So it is a packed day. I'm clients until, I don't know, for the next 12 and a half hours, I think.
Just you go till 9 o'clock tonight.
9:30.
Lord have mercy.
I know.
Next year we're gonna do this differently. That's what we're working on, everybody. You're hearing it here, okay? Next year, the day before, she's gonna get some rest. But we're gonna work on that.
Well, my printer's been being a pain. I still have some certificates to print out.
Oh, okay.
And
did you get all the other stuff you had been working on?
Most of the other stuff's done, yeah. We got name tags printed out. Cool. Larissa's been cutting those, making them ready to go. The holders for them that I get, I went to go check, luckily, and they sent the wrong size. So I had to reorder the holders, which is supposed to arrive today. So I will be stuffing name tags on my flight.
I know you.
And I need to do my nails, but I don't know when. And I don't know what yet. I was going to do black and gold because that's kind of the theme colors of the weekend.
Oh, yeah.
But that's not very, summery.
Okay.
And we are going into summer. And I'm like, well, I can always do those in October.
Right. And I'll copy them then.
Right. So... so that's fine. I'll do them then. But I don't know about tonight. Because, I do love a mood polish.
Right.
And I'm always a fan of doing something with those. Yes. And I might do what I did on a client. I did a marble on a client with all mood polishes. So she had kind of when her hands were warm, she had one version of the marble. And then when her hands were hot, she had another version of the marble. So that was kind of cool because you're basically walking around 2 sets at once, which is fun.
Right.
So maybe I'll do something like that.
Okay.
But I don't know. I haven't decided.
Okay, what about some blues, like some ocean blues or some tealies that change?
Tealies?
Azul.
What bit is that? This is a zebra sanding band. I love these sanding bands. I searched high and low to find them. And the reason I really like them is because they are a coarse bit without being bumpy. So I don't have a lot of vibration on the nail. It picks everything up really smooth. And I just dispose after each client, get a new one, all is well. Now the reason zebra is they're white. You can see that they're white. It actually has some silicone in the band. I've learned this. This is very interesting. There's silicone in these zebra sanding bands, and that helps prevent the nail from getting hot. So my clients definitely had noticed when I switched to these sanding bands that they were not near as hot as previous sanding bands. And I didn't know why. But I actually was reading another nail tech's info and discovered that it's because of the silicone. Nope, they don't heat up. So Shayla will tell you, are they getting hot?
Not at all.
No.
Not at this minute.
So they work amazingly well. And so you can only get them on my site. I bring them in because I literally couldn't find anything. I wanted sanding bands that worked really well. That were not bumpy, because I would get them from some companies and every couple of batches they'd be bumpy. I drove me crazy. So I started contacting the companies that make them and started getting samples and trying them until I found these, and it was like angels singing.
I know that's right.
I was like, yay, this is what I've been looking for.
Yeah.
So you can get them at Love Nails. Now, if you're wondering why my Valentino is old, picking up my dust here, this is my older Valentino. I have a couple, because that's what we do. When the new model came out, it has a bigger, so the newer ones all have a bigger surface area for the filter. But I sent it with Jared. Where do you find them? LoveNails.com. LoveNails.com. Shayla.com.
I know, get it in there, right there.
I'm going. There you go.
I love us.
That's where you want to go. That's where you can get Sandy bands. They're 100 for $10. Come in a nice case. So
We have a ball.
Lisa says that I answer her questions while she's texting, so that's good. So anyways, what was I saying?
The big the other Valentino.
The Valentino, yeah. So I sent the other one to nail camp because I often will be removing nails or things like that when I'm doing demos and classes and stuff, and I'm so used to having it pick up dust that I have a hard time not having it in front of me when I'm doing this. It stresses me out. So I'm now so used to it picking up all this dust that I have to have it. So I remembered this time and I sent it with Jared. Yeah, that's the key. I remembered this time.
Right? That's the key to everything.
Yeah, and Jared's on the way. He'll be arriving in Florida today. And then tomorrow he goes to pick up all the stuff from Melissa's shop. So Melissa Goodson's been awesome. She's been allowing all the swag and stuff to get delivered to her place. I was like, are you sure? Because it is not a little bit of boxes. It's going to be a lot. And it is a lot this year. I'm very pleased with all the companies that have shipped stuff. So we have a lot of terrific freebies, and the swag's going to be awesome. It's going to be a good camp. It's always a lot of work. I'm always like, oh, I'm happy for the next weekend because then I'm done.
Oh yeah.
But why do I do it? Because it makes the nail techs happy. That is why I do it. It is a labor of love, my friends, because it is a lot of work for a lot of months leading up to it. Right now, it's a lot of re-answering questions that people ask that I just answered and copying and pasting the answer again. Which is fine. It happens every time. We have about 70 new people going to camp, so
Excellent.
70 people that get to experience what it's like. It's so fun. I mean, even I have fun, even though I'm running it all, so that's why I still do it. I want to see everybody and have a good time.
It sounds like a learning party, where you get to learn and then still have fun with the ladies.
Yeah, I mean, you're doing classes all day long, but then, like, the first night we have campfire after you get your swag bags and your t-shirts, and the second night is our round table, so everyone can come with questions for all the educators. People have really enjoyed that the last couple times we've done it. And then Sunday night is our costume party trade show.
Aww, yeah.
Yeah, you're going to see me. I have a wig and everything, all 20s style.
Oh, yes. We're going to have to see the pictures.
It's going to be so fun.
And Miss Carrie says she's very excited to see you tomorrow.
Oh, yes. Excited to see you too, Miss Carrie.
Party time. Party time.
Well, when are you going to be... I think you get in before I do. We'll come swing by the hotel and pick you up before we go do dinner or anything. Sound good?
Oh, yeah.
I said sound good, and I wanted to say sound good ? Because I audio text. I audio text so much. Does anyone else do that? It's like you just talk and it's just naturally you're like...
Cute.
Well, and one of my friends, Lisa, she's a what is that, voice text person, like on Facebook or whatever. So she'll record her messages, and I can't do it because I will be like, comma, period, like I'll say it all in everything. It's so funny.
She gets it at 8.
Oh, you get it at 8 p.m. All right, well, probably already have done dinner. And there is a shuttle to the hotel, so you can just grab a ride and go relax. But text me because I'll let you know if we're out and about, or, I don't know what's going on, so we'll find out. And if I'm out at dinner and you want dinner, I can pick something up and bring it back for you. So text me when you get in.
I know that's right.
Yeah.
And Miss Michelle has a question. Are you still processing orders, or is all of it
Absolutely.
Okay,
No. Yeah, we split it. So half of it goes to camp and half stays back. Some of the stuff stays back completely. Like profiles is at camp, so we didn't bring any profiles. It's all here. But yeah, we had shipped enough in so that we have a duplicate of basically everything. And so, like, well, one person we already had sold out of our duplicate, so she has to wait until I can get to camp to ship out her order. But otherwise, yes, orders are still getting shipped. I have someone shipping orders, so it's no problem. Now, I think I just came across an air bubble. I did. Do you guys see that? You're going to see them on thumbs more than any other finger because Shayla's trying to look.
Look, I'm trying to see.
There's your air bubble.
Thank you.
You're going to see them on thumbs more than any other finger because people use them as tools. And they do need to come away because if you leave an air bubble, it just keeps spreading and then their nail will come off. So it's really rare. It's much, it happens much faster with acrylic. So that's why people will have nails just pop off with acrylic so easily. With gel, she probably could live with this air bubble for another 3 weeks before it really spread any more. And who knows how long before it actually caused her nail to come off. But I want to have a full adhesion. So I always thin the whole nail out because I want to make it easier for me when I go to fill this. I'm going to be adding a little bit more product on the middle of her nail to create a bit of an arch because I'm taking it all the way now. So you want to come around a circle. And then I typically will just push it off and all of that is gone and then very lightly go over the top. So I'm using a foot pedal. So my speed right now is very, 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 very low when I'm on her natural nail. And then when I come onto the gel itself, I can speed it up. So if you're using a foot pedal, you can really change all of this very easily, like driving a car or changing your speed. But if you are using a system where you have to hand crank it, you're constantly going to have to go back and forth, back and forth. So if you're looking to save time in the salon, get an e-file with a foot pedal. It will save you a lot of time in the salon. All right.
Let me get
I've got my Valentino turned down a little bit so it's not as loud because it'll actually get quite a bit louder. But I want to make sure I'm getting all the dust onto my filter. And then I shake out the filter in between, just like I'm shaking out my hand because my carpal tunnel in the mornings is always the worst.
We're going to get you some hand yoga exercise.
Hand yoga?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
We're going to get you some stretches.
I don't know how that's going to happen.
I'm going to text them to you.
Think I have time?
I'm going to text you my voice. All right, right here, right hand. left hand.
That's
Make
funny.
it fun in the morning.
We used to, speaking of voices, so long time ago at one of our old camps. All right, let's see if I can get everything as it should be. All right, first we're going to push. So a long time ago at one of our old camps, we were at campfire, and we were talking about, I think it was when, like, phones, this was a long time ago, probably like 8 years ago, when phones were starting to have, like, different, like, Siri had come out with a different voice or something like that. And everyone's like, wouldn't it be hilarious if there was, like, an app that you could have a suggestive Siri? And so it was like... So we were like, well, you could have, like, instructions, and then it can be like, oh, yeah, do that. You know, and like...
Sexy little ad-libs, yeah.
So we were sitting around the campfire, and we were just... And, like, we were talking about, in particular, like, GPS. And, like... Where did my eat? There it is. I'm like, I can't find my little bit. I took it out. I got to dry it off. Make sure that whenever you take your bits out of your disinfectant tray that you dry them off. You don't want to put wet bits into your e-file or you will ruin them. And Mr. Bruce, who maintains my e-file, would yell at me. So we definitely don't want to do that. Don't want to get yelled at by Mr. Bruce. I had just sent mine in, so they've all been maintained. So I'm just going to come around. This is my 2S bit. This is my favorite forever bit. And I like to come around and smooth out the cuticle area and get underneath where her cuticle is. Now, she does not have like crazy stuck built up cuticle that some clients will have. And so she's a little bit easier on that sense. But you want to get this in, and I like to smooth out the old growth or the where her gel growth is. And this is where I go through, and if there's anything left of the last color, I can get it with this bit, a much finer bit than trying to do it with my sanding band. So it eliminates rings of fire because as you saw, I do not take that sanding band and go around the cuticle like that. That can make rings of fire too easily. I won't do it. So this will go around and prep really good, lift up that cuticle area, and I can smooth out that region as well at the same time. Someone's texting me nail stuff. Obviously, they're not watching that I am on live. But it's Shayla Day.
Yay!
So I knew some of y'all miss her.
Oh, that's
I hope.
sweet.
I love me some Shayla too.
No, this is fun. This makes me happy. And I learn a lot when you do the videos too. I'll be like, oh, that's why she does what she does. Oh, okay.
Right. So when I don't, we just chat about everything else in the world.
I'm telling you everything else in the world, right?
There's a little hairline right here, but I think I'm going to just let that stay. I'm going to get that with my hand file. Oh, there it goes. Okay. Quick dusteroo. Switch hands. So I have some good news about my mama.
Please.
Shayla knows my mama, so
absolutely.
We like to make sure we let her know what's going on.
Please.
She finally started going to a different doctor for her knee.
Okay. Okay.
I know.
Okay.
Praise the Lord.
Right, here we go.
So she'd gotten so bad over the last couple of years. She was walking with a cane.
Yeah,
and the last doctor was like, oh, we'll send you to physical therapy. And it's like, no, you need to do something more. She needs a knee replacement, obviously. So she went to a new doctor who's like a sports medicine type doctor. And he did new x-rays and ultrasounds and all this stuff. And he's like, yeah, so your arthritis has gotten really bad. It's created bone spurs, which are not pleasant. Can you imagine bone spurs in your knee?
I know the foot part, but not the knee part.
Yeah.
Right.
And so he gave her a shot, and he's going to, which see, this is her little owie finger. So we're going to be real careful up there. Hopefully you're not going to lose it.
We'll pray on it.
You're going to have a bruise that's going to grow out next time. So it's black back here, and as you see it, it's going to grow out. Cool. But for now,
we'll
we're
just
okay.
choose complimentary polish. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. All right, keep going with mommy.
Yeah, so she went to the sports medicine doctor. She said that when they gave her the shot, immediately it was like pain-free.
Cortisone.
So part of it was because they give you a numbing when they give you a shot. She was numbed up and the shot.
Oh, I know. She was happy.
So, yeah, she was like, I could walk to the car. And someone had parked so close to her, she actually had to crawl in from the other side.
Oh, it was a test.
Yeah, and exactly. How well is this? Because it had gotten so bad, she couldn't even lift her knee out of the car. Normally, she'd have to, like, pick it up.
Yeah.
And just cleaning this up, making sure that there's nothing too crazy going on here. Anyway, so they're gonna, they say it can last up to 6 months, but she'll keep in contact with him, and if it doesn't last that long, then they'll know, how soon she will. Well, just how soon she will be able to go in for surgery. Okay. So since she's finally having surgery, then I was like, all right, good. Your knee will be doable. You can come with us to our next trip to Europe. Aww. Well, not the one in June, but like Christmas,
Right.
Because we have Christmas coming.
Oh, that's right.
And we love the Christmas markets in Germany. And so she's like, oh, yes, let's do that.
Oh, I know. She's ready now.
She's ready. And so I said, all right, If they don't do surgery by September, she's like, then I'll just have them make sure they do a new shot in November and I'll be good to go. I'm like, all right, sounds good.
We got a plan. I
Yeah,
love it.
we have a plan. We are going to make sure that she can do the fun.
That's cool.
All right, get a new file. And because we are expecting to be pregnant by the end of next year, we're not going to be going to Germany probably for a while.
Mm-hmm,
so we're like, we need to go this year, use those miles up.
Yeah.
Miles are life, I tell you.
Oh, yeah.
Because if we didn't have our miles, we would never get to go nowhere.
I'm telling you. It's real life.
I love the miles. So we're going to go do... I'm going to fly into Frankfurt this time, which I've never gone in Frankfurt. And then we're only staying a day there because there's really not a lot to see. We like the cute little towns, not the big cities so much. So they have a Christmas market there, but we're going to drive out of town pretty quickly and go to a couple other little towns, Cologne and Dusseldorf and stuff.
You love Cologne. You've been there.
I have not.
You haven't?
No,
I heard you mention it.
I have not. And I don't think we've been to Dusseldorf either. We went to Dresden, I think, when we were, when I was, I don't know. We went to Berlin a few years ago, and I think that's where we went to. So we are assuming that the world will open by Christmas.
Right.
So luckily, the flights are miles flights. They're all completely refundable. But you gotta love business class ticket for $200 and some miles.
Oh, yeah. Right on.
I can handle that. But we'll do Christmas in Vienna.
Oh, that's the one you love. I know.
We do. We did love Vienna. We didn't have, I think we were only there for 3 days. So my mom requested that we go back to Vienna. And we didn't get to do like a Christmas concert last time. And she really wants to be able to go do that. So we'll go to Vienna and we'll spend like a week there. And so I booked the Christmas, because last time we didn't get to do it because it was already booked. And so I'm like, well, I'll book it now before anyone is actually thinking about traveling, because I'm always thinking about traveling.
I know you. We know you.
So I'm like, I'm going to book that, so that's not refundable, but if I have to, I can try to figure out how to sell something on a German website. I have friends.
Right. Hello.
So I'm just going around. We're smoothing out the cuticle area. I'm not having to do a whole lot because I did a lot with that bit. But I am making sure I'm prepping really well around the cuticle. This is how your clients can go a long time without having a lot of problems. So lift it up, look down the barrel, and file from the top. You can't see your shaping if you're not looking down the barrel. You can't see if one side is heavier than the other if you don't look down the barrel. Shayla's looking down the barrel on her other. She's looking down the other one.
You should see me all close.
Yeah. So you want to look, you need to look down the barrel if you're going to be getting an even shape from one side to the other. I want these two to be about the same.
Hello, Miss Jessica White, darling. How are you?
Oh, hello. I almost took a picture and sent it to you last night because I have presents. Well, she's probably not near as excited about it as I am, but I have a black nail camp shirt, and it's like a neon pink glitter nail camp logo. And so I have it for just the check-in crew. So Carrie, if you're still watching, you get one too, because she's part of the check-in crew. Aww. That way all of us kind of match at check-in and people can notice who we are or whatever pretty easily. So,
girls.
So if you're excited about that, then you don't have to pack a shirt for Friday, because you'll get to have the check-in shirt, which is black shirt with hot pink glitter design.
Yes.
It's really pretty. You
don't have to pack something, that just makes it all.
I know.
Come on.
Well, and they get a shirt for camp, and they have a new Love Nails shirt they're getting. So really, Jessica, you're getting 3 new shirts for the weekend, so you don't have to pack as much.
You just bring some jeans and some sneakers, and you're rolling.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What is
She's like, I don't want to wear your shirt.
Now, where is the furthest location one of your people are coming from?
Me.
It is. It's you from Seattle. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. This time. So a lot of times we have people from the Caribbean. Oh no. Well, yeah, because even Puerto Rico's not that far.
You're right.
Yeah, a lot of people, we have a lot of times we have people from the Caribbean or from Europe, but of course Europe is still on lockdown, so they're not able to come yet. But they're starting to open up, which is awesome.
Okay.
England's opening, and they're doing really, really well because they've been.
Jared, my love.
Oh, I hope Aaron's the one driving. He's still on the road. On the road again.
Jess knows the joke is we are all married to Jared up in here. Okay, love me some Jared. Jessica White has a comment on here that I am not going to read because I don't believe it. Okay, I'm not going for it. Just so you know.
Yes, ma'am. I know what size shirt you like. Thank you very much. This is not a surprise to me. But I'm glad that I'm not the only one who gained the COVID-19 this year. I order all the shirts, so I'm like, oh, thank God, there's like half the people that are my size or a little bit bigger. I'm okay with that.
It's real. It's real life right now.
Because you feel a little bit bad if you're ordering all the shirts and everyone's so tiny. So I love that I got some people that understand me.
It's real
and
life.
We can all eat an Oreo together.
Oh, come on. They got those fudge dip ones with the mint.
Oh, those are amazing.
Yeah. I had to put them back because I said, Jared, you know what? My dentist ain't gonna have me going out like this.
We had a game night recently, and I kind of thought I hit him in the pantry because I had gotten some, and I ate them a little slow because you got to savor it, you know?
Like, on the tip of the tongue.
It's just they're so good. Right. And so I thought I had hit it good in the pantry, but I look up and we're playing a game day. And I look across the table and look who has eaten my very last one. No. And I'm like, what
Jared,
is going on right now?
We got to talk about that, Jared. That last one, it hits differently when it's not yours. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you don't get to have it, it changes things.
And what does he do? He takes a bite and looks at me, and I'm like...
Oh, like a commercial, like Fabio.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
a little bit like that. And then he's like, sexy. Oh, you want it? I'm like, no.
Not now. It's not enough. Okay.
Harsh.
We get it.
That was a little harsh right there.
It's all right. You know, we understand. When it comes to our sugar and our cookies and stuff, it's a little different.
It's bad. I mean, I've gone back and forth trying to be really good, do keto, whatever. It just does not last.
I just discovered chocolate. Yeah, they're a problem. Okay, so let me tell you real quick. I love Jerry. He laughing. Okay,
I know, he's laughing. At least he still loves me, even though my butt does not get smaller.
No, shit happens. Okay, so let me tell you all. Back in the day, they may still have them. I haven't seen them. They used to have, during the holidays, the white chocolate.
Oh, they do still have them. My daughter loves those. I get them for her.
God said, Shayla, you can't find them. Okay, you already had a root canal last year. You got some other shit going on. So I have never seen them. But I know those are the best things ever.
They do exist, and they're not a sad thing. They might even be there all year. Don't look. Don't look.
I promise you.
Just hide.
I'm going to go get me some hummus and some pita crackers and try to mind my business, because that'll get you.
Yeah, Jared had the chocolate-covered mint one.
Mint.
I know.
Oh, yeah, the mint. Oh, yeah, Jared.
He stole my last one.
We heard, Jared. We know. Those are off the hook.
All right, so this is the one that had the air pocket. So it's down. All of this is just back down to her natural nail. There's still a little bit of gel here, which is fine. I'm going to hold her nail right here because you don't want to be filing on this. You can see how loose it is. There's no strength. So using my nail, I'm actually going to hold her finger up to thin this out. And that way, when I'm thinning it out, I'm not pushing down and causing pressure on her nail. But I want to make sure that all of this that was looking white is gone, because that means that it's not properly attached product. And if it's not properly attached, it does not need to be there.
Oh, Jess, that's called brilliance right there.
What, me holding your finger?
Yes.
I know, it's one of those tricks that I probably have never mentioned.
Okay.
Because I don't get a ton of air pockets. We used to get a lot more. So air pockets used to be a result of your bulbs going bad. When we used to have old school UV lights that we had to replace the bulbs every 4 months, your bulbs would start going bad, and you would start seeing client after client after client with air pockets, and you're thinking to yourself, oh, I should have changed my bulbs a month ago. So, why does pocket lifting happen? So it happens for two reasons. So like I was just mentioning, the old the old UV lamps used to get weaker and weaker over time. So they would cure, and they just wouldn't cure very well. And so people would get more pocket lifting when your bulbs would get old, because they would have to be replaced every 4 months. And it was $100 to $120 project for each lamp every time.
Ooh.
So it was an expensive thing. So now going into LED lights, we're like, yay, we don't have to replace bulbs anymore. So typically it's not a bulb problem anymore. Now it's a pressure problem. People use their thumbs for tools. If they're, a lot of times if people deal with paper a lot, they crease with their thumbs. And so typically your pocket lifting is happening because your client had used its nail for a tool and it pushed the gel away from the center of their nail. Yeah, you're in trouble.
I got caught on camera, y'all. You guys are fun.
So that is why you get pocket lifting, is because it's being used typically as a tool. You're typically not going to see it anymore for your bulbs getting old on your lamps. But if you start having just a whole bunch of clients that have a ton of pocket lifting, you need to get a new lamp, because it's very likely that your gel is not curing 100% all the way through, and you're not getting a really excellent adhesion. So,
and Miss Day said she had a client a couple of weeks ago come to her for the first time, and she had pocket lifting on almost all of her nails.
Yeah, those just all need to come off, and you basically have to do a new set. Part of it could be improper prep, but if it's on a lot of the nails, it's very likely that if it's all actually gel, the lamp that tech is using needs replaced. She's not getting a good enough cure. So I'm just making sure these are...
No, I know this part.
See, look at how much shorter that one is. So what you can't really tell here is, because when she damaged her nail, when you have a damaged nail, it is going to grow way faster.
Is that what happened? I saw that.
So her old growth on this nail was here. Her growth on this nail is down here. Do you guys see the difference? So as soon as she damaged this one, her nail started punching out a lot faster. So when you go to compare the length, you can see that it's a lot shorter. So you're going to notice that on nails that are damaged, they're going to grow a lot faster right at the beginning, because the nail's trying to revive itself.
What? Now this is some science right here. Okay.
So you're definitely going to notice it. I have one client who, her nails just in general tend to grow super, super fast. But if she damages one, it's like 3 weeks and it's like halfway down her finger. It's crazy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This is wonderful.
There, you learned something new.
We are learning together, everybody.
All right, so I'm taking my mixture. So I use a mixture prep and wipe and acetone. So it's about 3/4 prep and wipe and about 1/4 acetone. The reason is acetone's a great dehydrator. And also, if I do any stamping at the end of my service, it makes it really easy when I go to wipe the tacky off of the top coat. It also removes any polish that's dried on the skin.
Go ahead, Jess. You're learning up in here. This is wonderful. I want to come to nail care and just walk around.
Yeah, practicing for teaching this weekend.
Okay, good.
Yeah, Jared's, if he's still in here, it's because he likes to listen to my teacher voice.
I love you. Go ahead, Jared, baby. I love it.
I don't really know why. Apparently he thinks I have a teacher voice. But
hello, we're going to do some nails up in here. I love it.
So this is the side I wiped with. I'm going to use this side to clean my brush. And I'm going to grab my Trinity, because this is what I use.
And this is when you tell your clients to get in their positions, get ready to go into the cookers.
Yes, you have to get ready.
Well, it's for the ones who are uncoordinated like me. You got to get positioned here.
All right, so I'm going to take a nice pillow of Trinity clear. There's a little piece of lint in there. I just saw it. I'll pull it out. Going to get up towards the cuticle, but leaving a decent size gap. And I'm using a little bit more on her because her nails are so long. I'm going to be adding in enough to create a little bit of an arch. So, you know, with a normal short nail, you might just gloss it over. And so most of my videos, you can see me just gloss it over. But with Shayla, because she does wear them a bit longer, I float it in such a way so that I can try to get a little bit of an arch on there. It takes a little bit more finesse to do it like this, but if you look at it from the side as it self-levels, you can see there's just a little bit of a line of light trying to smooth out right there. But if you look at it from the side, Let's see if I can
Sorry.
twist you all the way.
No, you're
That's
good.
okay. You should see that it's creating a bit of an arch on the nail. So you don't want it to be completely flat. It really helps to just extend the shape out just a little bit. All right, we're going to flash that for a few seconds. Jared says I do.
That's teacher voice. I love it. All right, come out the cooker.
It's so funny. And then go to the next one. So it's really only a 2 to 3 second flash cure. Too much longer and your clients might notice some heat. So we try to prevent that. So I'm just very gently pillowing around the cuticle area, keeping most of the gel right here in the center. And then I'm going to glide it down. The reason I'm keeping it right in the center is that's going to give me that arch without having to have a lot of work. And it's all about a light touch, you guys. A lot of people really get in their gel very heavy. And you have to think of it like frosting a cake. You really want to have a very, very light touch on the nail. And I pull down on the sides because if the product's starting to pillow out a little bit, I don't want it to create a bulb on the nail. So again, looking at it from the side, you can see that a nice arch has been achieved. But you don't want to have the gel starting to spread and create a bulb on the side of the nail. So that's why I go and I remove it off of the sides a little bit. Okay. So you can see I'm grabbing quite a bit more than I might for someone that has a very short nail. So this would really be, what a lot of people would consider a fill rebalance as opposed to like a 30-day manicure. But it's really very similar in the sense that I'm doing the same thing. I'm just making sure that because her nails are so long that I have a bit of an arch in them as I'm gliding. It can be very thin at the end, but right in the center of the nail, I want to make sure that I've got enough product that it's helping to continue that shape so that there's strength, because we don't do broken nails here.
Oh, Lord have mercy. You can't think of anything else when your nail is broken. There's other things to worry about, but the only thing I think about is my nail.
It's been a long time since you've broken one, though.
Yes, because I've been trying to make sure I didn't use them for tools, because they're jewels.
That's right.
Like you taught us.
Mm-hmm. They can be taught.
It just takes about a decade, y'all. So go slow with your clients. Go slow.
I know, it has been like a decade. Isn't that crazy?
We were 15 when we started hanging out. Now we're 26.
Mm-hmm.
This is fun.
That sounds about right.
I know. That's how I'm feeling.
Well, when did I get gel on your finger?
I don't know. We were probably laughing.
Didn't even notice it.
We just keep it moving.
So, was there news about the mountain last time I talked to you?
Okay. The last thing I remember is we were moving. Things were going, but the wood issue was a problem.
Yeah, so we're selling the mountain.
What? I can't use my verbiage on this Facebook. Okay, I don't want them to know me like that. Okay, I want them to think I'm classy. So we're gonna have to take that one offline. Okay, you guys didn't hear any of that. If you heard that, okay. Let me see how I move on. Like the whole mountain, or
yeah.
I can't breathe right now. If this wasn't 10 o'clock in the morning, y'all, I'd had to go get me a beverage out the refrigerator. Jess, we've been together on this mountain for a long time here, Jess.
Yeah, 3 years.
Yeah, we've been together in this mountain.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Ooh, okay. How long did it take to come to that decision?
Well, it started in an interesting roundabout situation.
Okay, thank you.
So back when Country Village decided that they were selling,
Right.
and we were like, we need to get out of here.
I remember.
Part of the idea was let's sell everything, go buy an RV park, and we'll run that and just live life like that.
Yeah.
So then our friends had come over and they were like, man, the market's so crazy. We just want to sell our house and go buy an RV park or something. And I'm like, wait, what? And so we started talking and we got pretty excited about it because there's a couple reasons we didn't. We didn't want to move away from all our friends, and we didn't want to do it alone because if you do it alone, we have no chance of being able to do anything, and we travel.
Yeah.
And I need someone to be able to ship orders, and it was just having another set of people would be amazing.
A village. Mm-hmm.
So we were like, all right, well, let's look into. The first thing we have to do is sell the property and see what we can get out of it, because after 3 years of prepping and permits and engineers and all of that craziness, it's at least going to be worth a lot more than when we moved on to it.
Okay.
So we started thinking about that, and then I found a property in like Southern Oregon that is awesome. I'm like, perfect. We can totally do that. But then our friends went and talked to their family who own like a camp.
Okay.
And they were like, oh yeah, we barely get by. And
okay.
so they kind of turned them off of the whole idea. And I'm like, okay, well, you're doing it wrong, because I can't tell you how much money, many tens of thousands to use a camp for 4 days. So if you're not making some money, your camp needs some help, because I mean, or it's in a difficult location. It doesn't get rented a lot, and it's a camp, not an RV park. And the place that we were looking at's like got cabins and stuff like that. So they kind of decided not to do it. So we were like, all right, well, we don't want to do it alone again. So we're not going to do it. But it still makes sense at this point to sell the mountain, because we can turn around and buy a house that's already done. And then we can do the IVF stuff. So we have 3 frozen babies. We have go in June to do more. And so it allows us the chance to, once we've got into a place and we're settled, we can actually implant those and move on with that. But we don't have an extra $500,000 for wood right now.
Yes.
And that's how much it would be.
Straight up.
At least $500,000 extra just in lumber. And we don't have that.
Yeah, I understand.
So we can't wait around for years for that lumber pricing to come down. I mean, somebody wants to build their house and they don't care what the lumber prices are, and they can buy a property and they can build.
That's their business.
Yeah, but we can't. So we've accepted this as long as someone pays us a crap ton of money.
Okay.
Granted,
Excuse me.
They said it could be listed for a decent amount, but not as much as what we want to list it for. So we actually have no realtors that want to list it for us, which I haven't even gotten to tell Jared that.
Okay.
But
okay. Well, Jared, I hope you hung up. Okay.
So we will be doing a for sale by owner just on Zillow, which I have a friend who will help walk me through like all the paperwork for that and stuff.
Okay.
So I definitely still have help for that. She's just, I'm really sorry, because you're going to get bombarded with a whole bunch of realtors trying to take your listing. And I'm like, I'm sure.
Oh, okay.
So we'll see. I mean, we're going to be listing it pretty high. And so, the realtor's like, I don't want you to think that you're going to be able to sell it. And he's like, and I don't really have time right now, because they're getting properties on and sold so fast, that he can list low and people are taking whatever. So he'd rather focus on that than someone who has a piece of land that wants to like shoot for the stars. So I'm like, all right, that's fine.
Whatever.
So we just need a drone to come a photographer to come do photos from this guy and do some really cool. I mean, I have some photos from when we bought it 3 years ago, but if we could get some on a nice clear day and you can see how awesome the place is and you can see where it's cleared and everything, that'll be really good. So as soon as we get the drone shots, then we can get it listed and see what happens.
Well, I just want you to know I'm in complete shock right now.
I know.
And I will wait until do my toadies to go into more detail. Now, what neighborhood would you be interested, or are you thinking of moving into?
I'm everywhere.
Really? You cool? Okay.
Yeah, I'm cool with everywhere, but I want some land around me. I do not want to be moving into like a place like this where we're just like so right on top of our neighbors.
No, I understand.
So it'd be nice to have at least an acre somewhere.
Okay, so you'll still be a little bit out of the city then.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Cool. It works for me.
And Jared likes a view. So
go ahead, baby. Jared, I got your back.
It might be farther up.
Well, you tell Jared that I want to be in on helping with this view, baby.
Hope says she's in shock too. She's been following the mountain. So
yeah, you see what I'm saying?
I know.
We married Jerry. We bought the mountain. You hear us saying we've been in this for a minute, okay?
It's crazy.
I know. I'm completely shocked.
I mean, I've even paid the whole building permit. Okay, so with this one, I'm going to build her arch right here because remember, we're all the way down to the natural nail. There's no gel there from a previous fill, and I want to get an arch in here. So I'm going to do this in a couple of steps. So I'm going to get this on right in the center, just a little bit, and we're going to cure that. Okay. And we're going to do that a couple of times to just build this nail up. And then I'm going to fill it like the other ones. Anyway, so.
I'm in shock.
I know.
I mean, I'm happy for you to do whatever is best and what
And
you
that's
need
cured
to do.
enough, so I'm going to do it again.
But, whoa.
I know. But, I mean, it's crazy because we've already, like, paid the building permit. But we're
Oh.
hoping that all of that will go into play with somebody like, here, you can build tomorrow.
Okay.
Building permit's paid for. If you
Right.
want this building
Right.
or this footprint, it's really, really easy to switch to, you know, have them switch it out.
Right.
If they want to change the house design. They can do the design that I did and build that if they wanted to, or they could come up with their own
Wow.
and just resubmit the building permit stuff. But it's since it's already paid for, it's just a variation, so it's only like $100, so it's a lot
Okay.
cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's big news. Okay, okay.
So the trick's going to be finding a place that has lots of space.
Oh, yes.
Because of the shop, and then because we can stay here kind of as long as we need
Right.
to.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if we find a place that needs more building stuff done with it,
Mm-hmm.
Jared can get in there and do some stuff before we move in. So
Yeah.
we have the time. So if we find something that's really funky and messed up, as long as we can get it cheap enough, then he can go in and
Oh yeah.
put in
And
fix
it's still
stuff.
be cheaper than the wood. Like,
Yeah, the wood costs, I mean, $500,000 extra.
oh, I know.
That's like past what we
I see it
budgeted.
on Yahoo. I'd be like, ooh, wood. Yeah. Mm-hmm,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One of my friend Jessica today sent me a picture that had a bag of toothpicks and it said wood seeds.
Hello. We gotta get this.
It said I got a deal. I got these wood seeds for $25. It's
on.
really funny.
No, it's real.
It's pretty bad. And some people are confused as to why. Well, there's a couple things that went into why. Obviously, when COVID hit, all these people were like, oh, I'm home. I should do this renovation that I've been wanting to do forever.
Right,
and so you have a gazillion people that are all renovating at the same time. And then you add on to that
Yeah, I love Jared.
that interest rates went so low that lots and lots of people could buy houses, which is good.
Right.
But it means that there's a lot of builders that are like, oh, all these people are buying houses. I'm going to build more houses. And they're taking wood. So between the builders trying to build the new houses and everybody trying to remodel, and OSHA apparently is a major problem. So OSHA is telling people because of COVID, you have to do this and that and this and that. And it's making it extremely hard for the mills to push out wood as fast as they should be. So they have tons of trees sitting there waiting to be milled. They don't have enough manpower to mill it.
Okay.
And so it's a lot of it is OSHA's fault because they're not able to do what they would usually do to push out enough wood to meet the demand. So yeah, it's ridiculous.
So your comments are in there. So Jared says we have to have a view. Jared, I got your back.
Yeah.
And then Miss Delia says the cost of a 2x4 in New Jersey was $2 and some change before COVID. Now it's almost $8 for a 2x4. That is crazy.
Yeah, it's at least 4 times the normal amount. Wow. So a sheet of plywood that used to be $12 to $15, and when you build a house, you have to cover your whole house in plywood. It used to be $12 to $15 a sheet. It's now about $100 for one sheet.
This world's crazy.
So it's just not possible. And you know, because we actually have a timeline, Jared can't be building if he's at home taking care of babies. So for us to be able to do babies, you have to we had to choose. And so it's like, all right, well, hopefully there's some bites and someone buys the property and gives us enough money that we can then turn around and buy a house. So
Right. And Hope talks about how shocking. Right. We know Miss Hope. Absolutely.
Hope said how shocking a government agency would make things worse.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if they could just get OSHA to stop making the restrictions so ridiculous, then they could start milling a little bit faster and start meeting the demand a little faster.
So summer 2021, there's no wood and no ketchup packets, I'll be hearing.
No ketchup packets?
Yeah, there's some kind of shortage situation on ketchup packets. And so I knew the world was going crazy then. It just don't make no sense. There's zillions of tomatoes, so I don't know what the problem is. But ketchup is a hot commodity too.
There's a show on, maybe it's on Netflix. It might be on PBS. Might be on Hulu. Maybe it was on Hulu. It's a PBS show though. They have a whole series called different. How do I explain this? They're like different documentary historical ones. So there's like the men that built America and the cars that built America, and this is called the food that built America.
Oh, okay, yes.
And it's like I want to say it's 3 parts, and it's very interesting because it's the story of like Heinz.
Oh, yes.
We were talking ketchup. That's what it thought of me. And ketchup used to be an Asian sauce made not from tomatoes. It could have been celery ketchup. It could have been a whole bunch of different ingredients. It was just, in general, ketchup was a sauce designed to hide the taste of rotten food. Isn't that hilarious?
Oh my goodness. Really?
All right, so I'm going to check this and see, before I polish it, what kind of shaping that it still needs. But if you can see, for the most part, by layering it the way that I did, I don't need a lot of shaping. It's pretty good.
It's perfect.
Yeah, looking at it from the
Because
side.
I stared down the barrel. You can't teach me nothing new, okay?
Yeah, so looking down the barrel is even from side to side. That's what I want to see. Okay, so yeah, it was like designed to hide the taste of rotten food.
Wow.
So, hold on. When this flash screwed, it didn't flash screw quite long enough, so there's a little bump on the side. I'm just going to smooth that out before I continue. There we go.
Did everybody see that eagle eye? Right there. Stop.
It's just a little bump. You probably wouldn't have seen it, especially with the design we're about to do, but, you know,
You know it's there. It will be
I do know it's
addressed,
there.
and I love that.
Okay. So anyway, so Heinz, of course, his last name was Heinz, decided he wanted to make a ketchup that was better tasting and tried a whole bunch of different vegetables and things to try to figure out how to do it. And he made tomato ketchup and eventually like figured out just the right recipe. And at the time, people did not know what was inside their food. So when you bought food, you never could see the food. It was always packaged in a way where you couldn't see it because they didn't want to have to be, responsible for how the food looked.
Okay.
And he wanted people to see that the ingredients were fresh and good. So he put them in a clear glass bottle. Isn't that interesting?
Very much so. I want to see that one.
It's an interesting show. It's like 3 episodes. Kellogg was interesting. So Kellogg's, who makes the cereal,
Yeah.
he was a doctor. Not the Kellogg that made the cereal, the brother. So we're talking about nails today. Just kidding. So Kellogg was a doctor at like a mental institution, basically, and it seemed like it was almost like a resort for like mental health care.
Okay.
And he was a doctor there. Well, he had started making what he called granola and serving that to people. And his brother worked there. Obviously, his name was also Kellogg. And the brother could really see the benefit to this granola and wanted to like expand and sell it to the masses. And the doctor was always just like, no. So eventually he got the capital and there was a big fire at the mental institution and he needed money, the doctor did. And so the brother's like, all right, I will buy the recipe from you and give you this money so that I can leave and go make it. And he's like, yeah, good luck. Sure. Yeah. So he takes his money and the guy goes and of course starts making granola and cereals.
Frosted Flakes.
Yeah. But what's hilarious is you want to know who also was at this mental institution? A man with the last name of Post.
Yeah, he makes the other one.
He makes the other one.
Granola one. That one, Honey Oats or something.
I think he started with Grape Nuts.
Grape, that's the one I'm talking about. I see the box in my
But,
head.
Postmates a whole bunch of cereals as well.
Yeah.
Well, he worked in the kitchen with the brother. And then when he got out, he also wanted to make this granola and or the cereal. And so they ended up becoming competition. Aww. And then as the brother, Kellogg, started getting successful, the other brother's like, well, I guess this does work. I'm going to put my own box out and put my name on it. So there was 2 Kellogg boxes with like the same logo and like battle ensued and a court case.
Oh,
And,
Lord have mercy.
you know, the Kellogg that was the doctor was famous. And they were like, well, who's the famous one? And so they had to decide who should actually be the one awarded the Kellogg name for the cereal. And they ended up awarding it to the brother. So Kellogg's is a very interesting story.
It's always some drama.
I know.
Ain't it? Always. That's
All right.
Excellent. Okay, here I come.
So you can do 2 coats, but this has a really good coverage with 1 coat. And we're going to be going right into doing our alcohol ink. So I'm going to take matte. Oof. AJ's going to get here. We're probably going to be a little bit late, but we're going to try to
Apologize
get
upon entry, honey. Okay.
done. So I'm going to use matte top coat and get these all ready for our alcohol ink. You can do it straight over the top without doing the matte, but I like how it looks doing the matte first, and I like how it moves. If you do it over the tacky layer of gel polish, it just moves differently. You'll notice that the ink tends to move around differently, and it dries at a different rate, and you really want it dry before you top coat it and stuff like that. So I always recommend doing a coat of matte, which my matte is almost out. This Ugly Duckling matte, which I really like. I also like the new, we have Akzentz matte on, has gotten a lot better. They have improved it over the years, so it's very close actually to this matte. But now I'm just in creature habit, so it's the one that I grabbed. So obviously if I was doing her nails in white and they were gonna stay white, then I would have done a second coat. But because I'm just covering these up, the white is just a base for the ink. It's not necessary. So do 1 coat of white and get your matte on there and move on to your alcohol ink. So we've talked about all kinds of randomness today.
That's what life's all about, you know.
It is. I mean, that's what nail appointments are about. I think that's why some people like hanging out with you, because it's, you know, they're longer appointments. And
Oh, thank you. I have a good time too. I've learned so much.
I like to chat.
Oh, yes. My grandma always told me it's best to know a little about a lot of things, you know. So I learned a ton today. Staring down the barrel. Yeah, the cereals.
I know. It's very interesting. So, yeah, they have that one. They're apparently coming out with another one. Oh, I just saw it, but now I can't remember what it was. So they have the Cars That Made America, and they have the Men That Made America. I like the Men That Made America. It's actually really, really interesting. It's about Rockefeller and Carnegie and
Big time.
yeah, the big time gazillionaires that we
Yeah,
all
finance, baby.
the banker.
Rothschild, man.
No, not about Rothschild. I'm trying to think of J.P. Morgan.
Oh, Chase, darling.
Yeah, so it's about all of these people and who they were and what they did and how they started. So it's a really interesting series. Okay, so. Oh, excuse my noise. I'm going to see if I have a little dabbing dish. I just don't do acrylic so often, so it's hard because I don't keep them around. Oh, but you know what? I have this empty jar. Every now and then we get some weird. It was supposed to be glitter gamma, and I opened it, and there was nothing in there. I'm glad it was me and not a customer.
Right.
So I'm just going to put a little bit of alcohol in there. This is just Prep and Wipe, which is an alcohol base. This is going to allow me to move around my inks really efficiently. Going to grab a brush. I like to use this Art number 6 brush. It just allows me to move things really well. Okay, so I am going to
All right, there we go.
wipe off the tacky on her mat. Okay, and we're going to be using a couple different alcohol inks. These are from Sherry, which I have some still in stock, but they're really particular on, oh my gosh, that one was not closed all the way. Awesome. Good job, Jess.
On your hand.
So if you all see me at camp and I'm completely yellow, it's because I just squirted that all over my hand. Fantastic. I was changing the ink in the printer the other day, and this hand did that, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have ink all over me. Mm-hmm. And luckily, it came off. So I'm hopeful that this yellow will come off, but people are going to be like, what happened to your finger? Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Make sure you close these really, really tightly before you shake them. Mm-hmm. Just a note.
Oh, yes.
But that is what we do, is real world nails. Right, so we do stupid things like shake when you shouldn't be shaking. Yeah, I need a new back. Yeah, I didn't want to lose it. Oh, I have tons of backs. That's my daughter. She has a bunch of backs for earrings, and it flew off when I was doing orders, and I heard it. You know how you hear, and you're like, great, I heard it, but it's like 2:00 in the morning. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to see it.
Right.
So, yeah, I'm glad I noticed it really quickly. Well, I was doing something and like swishing my hair behind my ear, and I caught it. So.
Oh, this is pretty already.
So we're just going to be dabbing on our different color inks, and then we're going to move them around together. So there's no kind of rhyme or reason to this. It's all just putting it on. There's no, can't get it wrong, you know. It's always just what you're going for.
Right. Always go with what you can't get wrong. Just go for it.
Right. I mean, the look is to try to... So now I'm going to put in my yellow everywhere else that I see white. And it's going to blend that in. And I like to do the yellow kind of at the end when I do these colors, because then I can, like I said, just find everywhere that's still white and touch it with the bright yellow, and it'll stay bright.
These are my favorite.
Pretty awesome.
Every time she says that, that's why it makes me laugh.
We've been doing this for 100 years. These are, every time they're my favorite. They are.
And if she forgets to tell me, she'll text me like 3 hours later. Yeah. These are my favorite.
You know, while you're just sitting there looking at them, you know. I'm like, let me make sure I tell her.
All right, so now that I've touched everything, now I can play with it a little bit. So I'm going to touch my alcohol. So you could leave them like this and go. But I like to push the ink around a little bit to create a little bit more of a, I don't even know what to call it. It creates a different effect once you play with it. And then you can play with it and push it down on the sides. If there's some white that didn't get covered, you just push the ink into that area. But see, it kind of goes from being splotchy to being a little bit more marbly. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. And you can mess it up by doing it too much. And so you don't want to go overboard. But see how the ink creates some sharper lines? I like that. I like to have kind of that little bit. And if you decide, okay, you've blended it too much somewhere, just take extra ink and clean off or extra alcohol and clean off the ink where you want it to be a little bit differently done.
Love it.
Yeah, the one you just did kind of looks like it's carved.
Mm-hmm. It's cool. I'm going to just be waving all kinds of ways. Nobody. Anybody.
And you can do this with all kinds of different colors. She had brought in this particular picture that had this one.
And it was not just a particular picture. It was a picture that Jess had already done. And I was like, I just want it this way.
Yeah, so see, I maybe removed a little bit too much right there. So I'm just going to dab. Again, I'm going to let that spread and dry. There we go. So see how it just looks, see the difference between this one and these? How by just using your alcohol and a little brush, you can really change the look of it. So even though it looks pretty cool just when you dot it, I really like the effect once you've touched it with a little alcohol because it creates those veins for you. All right, so we're just going to let these dry and go on to the next hand.
Do I cook them, Jess?
Nope, those don't need cooked. They don't. They just need to dry.
Okay, just checking. Come on, darling.
Miss Larissa's hanging out with us.
We've been hanging out for a while, huh?
When Larissa was a wee little thing, she'd come watch sometimes. It was when I worked at my house.
Right, I forgot when you had, like, I just remembered having your desk in the house.
The living room.
Yeah.
Right on.
That's just
Well, it wasn't a living room. It was technically my shop room, but it was also a living room.
Right.
Yeah, because you had it in the corner.
Real life. Yes, you're growing up too. It's been a minute.
She's our super guru. She runs the nail camp store
Go ahead. Write that down.
at
You're ready.
camp, which is very fun.
Tell them when I was 4, I was running nail camp. Right? Nail camp. Okay, you tell them. I'll be your reference.
She wanted for so long to come to camp. She finally, it was like when you turned 13, so she finally got to come starting last year.
You enjoy it?
That's fun.
I know. I can imagine. That's cool.
All right, so now we're going to go through and we're going to make all the whites yellow.
These are just awesome.
And don't be too concerned if some have more color than others.
Right.
You know, you want it to be different. That's kind of the fun part of having something like this. It's very abstract and they're all very different, and it really makes it entertaining when you are looking at them in the future and you're like, oh, look how different these are. All right, I'm hoping that Hope is the last one to have commented. It's been a long time. No one's saying anything, so.
You guys doing all right out there? The sun is shining. Maybe where you are.
It's shining here.
Yeah, right on. And it's supposed to be decently warm, right? Like, I don't know.
We won't see it. We're
No,
leaving
that's
tomorrow.
right. And I don't ever know the weather, so I have to rely on everybody else.
Yeah, it'll be ridiculously warm. It's like 90 in Orlando.
Yeah. Nope, that doesn't work for me, darling.
Yeah.
I'm a Seattle girl.
Yeah,
I know.
good up here.
Yeah.
Especially weather.
Yeah. And it's not like a regular 90. It's like humid, right?
Yeah,
Like,
it's
got that
pretty
extra
gnarly.
thing on the end. Nope.
Labor of love, I tell you, because I'm not, you know, it's hard. Florida's hard. I don't know how people live there full time, honestly. Love y'all, but I could not do that.
Northwest for a reason.
I think I want to get.
Probably deal with it if it wasn't humid.
Yeah,
the
that's that
humidity just makes
extraness. It's
everything.
just. My dad, he tells me, because you're Seattle soft, is what he says when it comes to the weather.
Seattle soft.
Yeah, you're Seattle soft when it comes to the weather.
That's funny. Well, yes.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I can be that.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
I like it.
I'm often called much worse, so that doesn't bother me, darling.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Seattle weather for sure. I don't mind the rain.
I do some San Francisco and some Portland. You know what I mean? And I haven't been to LA, but I heard it's warm down there too. So just go slow with me.
Yeah. LA isn't like too humid, right? I forgot. It's been a
no.
while since we went there.
It can just get real
I think
hot.
it's more just dry hot, and
Okay.
that's fine.
Yeah.
Like when you fly in from the airport, like as soon as you walk outside, it's just like
Yeah, boom.
But
I remember.
It's not bad.
I remember going to San Diego. That was a bit much for me. It was in July too, and you have to go slow with me. You should have took me around February. Broke me in first. You know.
Yeah, I was hoping that May wouldn't be too bad for heat in Orlando, but apparently
It got warm.
I mean, I know that it's really harsh in August when we used to do the show there. So
We went in September, and it was pretty bad, or at least for us.
I'll go see you.
yeah. All right, so we are now going to draw a couple lines with some black stick it real quick.
I'm focusing.
So I'm just going to follow if there is any kind of veins that I can just follow, I'm just going to do that.
Oh, these are hot.
And this is just going to allow me to throw a little bit of foil on these.
I love them. Miss Charlene says she loves your nails, Jess.
Aw, thanks, dear. If you watch this later, you can go back to the beginning. That is what Shayla had on her nails. I had done better on Shayla's nails than on mine because mine are, you know, done by me and in the middle of the night and
And
did not turn out as good.
there's also another question for a lovely person. He is asking, what technique are you using?
Well, I was doing alcohol ink. Right now, I'm just drawing some lines around the, what I did, because I'm going to hit it with some gold foil. I don't know if there's a name for this technique. It's random. It's called random lines.
It's someone who loves your teaching voice, just so you know. I got your back, Jared.
I'm glad we were entertaining him while he is in transport.
Sometimes you just want to have some fun. That's all it's about. No drama, just some fun.
He's been gone a week. He's got to miss me by now.
Oh, I could imagine.
hope.
Absolutely. And you'll reunite tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
This is really cool.
So I don't try to put too much on. I don't want to cover up all the work that I just did. But we do the foil to give it a little bit of shine because there is nothing wrong with a little bit of shine on a nail.
I'm going to read your comments. They're beautiful. Miss Jennifer, we are closed again in my province, so I love your videos. Makes me feel like I have a bit of normal. Right on. Wishing you nothing but love up there. And then Miss Tanya Lynn says, I call it watercolor marbling.
Oh.
And then Jared says, I do miss you.
Oh,
we love Jared. I can imagine his smile and his laugh right now.
We texted last night, but I didn't get it until it was like 2:30 in the morning, and I'm like, he's probably asleep by now because he's on the East Coast.
Right.
So.
Like 3 hours ahead?
Yeah. All right, so just glancing at it, just want to make sure I've got enough random little squiggles where I want. Should be enough. All right, go ahead and cure that.
Okay, Cookie, here I come.
Okay.
Oh, I'm so excited just to go wave. I'm stopping by the grocery store. I'm just going to wave to everybody. Hello.
If I did have my nails, I'd be clickety clack.
Yeah, just go clickety clack, baby. You deserve it.
Had my nails grown out for years, so feels weird for me.
Just take your time. You'll get back in the game when you're ready.
I have pictures when she was little and I was able to get nails on her.
Oh yeah, I was here. I remember.
So I was a nail biter until I was in, I think, 10th grade, and I had someone that sat in front of me that had her nails done, and I was like, oh, so cool. Where'd you get those done?
Yeah.
And so I started going to her nail tech, and never not had
Right
nails
on.
since then. So
Right on.
at some point, she might want them, and I'll show her how to do her own.
I'm telling you. I have those Oh yeah, those are the Costco jammies. I love those ones.
Mama's
Looking too
favorite.
sexy in the Costco jammies. Yes, darling.
Very chaotic.
No,
There's
it's okay.
yellow,
It's
purple.
called real life right now. Don't you worry about it.
Oh, can you go put my towels in the dryer, please, please? Thank you.
Can I put a load of laundry in?
Yes, of course you can.
Put mine in there too. While you're at it, sure.
See, I'm a mom I was a single mom for a long time, so
right.
she was learning how to do her own laundry when she was like 5.
You have to. That's
So
what you gotta do.
yeah, so she can do it, which is nice.
And I'm thinking girls are maybe a bit more self-sufficient when it comes to those things. Because my boys, they have problems finding stuff that is right in front of them. So
Well,
okay.
I think that's
It's okay.
genetic.
Is
That's
it?
that's the
Is it?
missing part of the chromosome.
Yeah, it sure is, because it ain't from me. I am not taking that one.
No,
Okay.
that is the missing part of the chromosome.
Yes.
You know how they have that whole XY thing?
Yeah.
Or we have the XY thing. No, they have the XY. We have two X's. We got it all.
Tic-tac-toe.
They're missing a whole little part of it.
Yeah.
And that is the
That
paying
changes.
attention situation.
Yes, that changes how you go about teaching and learning the life skills. It's a little bit of a curve, everybody. I have 2 boys and 2 stepsons with my husband, so it's 5 on 1 usually.
You need some
that's
female
right.
power.
Yeah, so that's when you go to that home goods store or the Hobby Lobbies, you find your people. You know, I went to Hobby Lobby the first time a couple months ago when you told me to go. And
It's a good time.
Yeah, they took all my money. When I walked in, it was gone.
So the reason I'm using black is so that I can really see what I'm doing. There's all kinds of different foil gels out there, but if you use the black foil gel, it lets you see where your foil is going to go a little bit easier than using a foil gel that is clear. So I can kind of visualize, okay, those are all going to be foil. Oh, honey, you're so funny. He said, what did you say? I wasn't paying
We were talking about the alphabet, ABC. Definitely not the X.
Tighten these well, otherwise your hands look like mine. We'll see if I can wash all that nonsense off some more with some acetone later.
Do you have a magic eraser?
I don't know. I got 12 more hours to go today. By the end of the day, it might be gone.
Then don't worry about it.
All right, so I'm going to take some foil.
You ready for this one?
I got some gold. Is this the right color gold?
Let's see. All right, that's why I love you. You said let's stop and check. Thank you, Jess.
Because we got a couple options. We got this kind of gold. Yeah, I think that one's better.
Pop in.
Do you like my little foil case?
Oh, I love it.
It's not super organized, but what's great about it is I have my color scheme, so it makes it a lot easier just to grab out a color scheme and be able to look and see what I have in that color scheme. So I love, some of my friends have these great, hello, is this foil gel not sticking? Not cool. Wow, maybe I needed to stir it. I did not stir that, and it might have needed it. So I'm going to very quickly take regular clear stick it and go over my black lines, because this is what happens in the real world.
Come on, it's real life, everybody.
I think my black stick it must be getting bad, or it needed to be stirred, and I didn't stir it because I was like, oh, no problem.
And Miss Christina says she missed most of it. Hope you will upload it to YouTube.
I will. I always do, especially because I haven't put a video on in so long that I'm sure that people that follow me on YouTube may have been like, oh, did you die? So here we go. That's what happens in the real world. Plan B, grab the regular stick it and go over where you already did lines.
You have to have the ability to pivot.
Right?
Especially on live.
I know.
You
Well, and that's what happens. It's something you've had for a long time. Like, I don't use this that often, and so... But I know the last time I did it, it worked, because that's what the picture was that you saw. So it's very likely that it had settled, and I needed to stir it, and I did not stir it.
But you knew exactly what to do to get back to what you needed.
Yeah. I mean, this one I use every day almost, is the regular stick it in the pot. It's clear.
Right.
So it's really hard to see where you're foiling or where you want to foil. So doing the black is kind of helpful.
Right.
But No, black's already there. I'm just tracing over it now.
Okay. Miss Karen says she knows you have been busy, but she's been waiting.
Been waiting for videos.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and my nails, to be honest, were not so pretty. I don't love how they turned out. They look really cute on Shayla when I did hers because they looked way better than on me. And I'm a little always self-conscious of, oh, do I want to do a video when my nails are not so cute and not as perfect as I would like them to be? Because really that's what it came down to.
Yes, I know. Perfectionista.
And so I'm like, nobody wants to see videos where my nails are not so cute. But I figure I'd do one because we're about to do camp, which means there's going to be no videos unless it's a camp video.
Okay.
Which I've done a couple of times where we learn a new trick at camp. Like last year when we figured out that if you wipe the tacky off your foil gel, it works so much better.
I remember that one. That one was
yes, that was amazing. But now a lot of different foil gels don't need it. It's interesting. Since then we've even come out with better foil gels in different companies and stuff. And so the one I used on mine and on yours is Blue Amber, which I now carry. And the new version of the Quick Stick It works really, really, really well. And so they don't require wiping off that tacky layer. So everything changes. That's why it's really good to go to advanced education because you learn stuff. But, you know, you may be like, oh, well, I went to a class 5 years ago. Well, guess what? It hasn't even been a year since that camp. And we're all already using a better, improved product. We don't have to do it. So new things happen all the time.
That's real life. Isn't it the only thing that's constant is change? Isn't that the quote or something?
Yeah.
Not that I like it. I'm just saying I've heard the quote.
Gotta accept it.
It's real.
All right. Let's see if we get a better result now. Come on, stick it.
Come on, stick it. Let's do it.
Come on, maybe it's my foil. Hold on. Because there is no reason this should not be sticking. Let's switch it again. This one's a good yellow one.
Yep.
Maybe that one's just it was a crappy foil.
Oh,
all that time, all that extra work for nothing. My black stick, it was just fine. Ugh.
I'm telling you, we live and we learn.
So annoying. That foil's going in the garbage. Where did that even come from?
Straight away.
Where did that even come from?
Well, okay.
Stupid.
This one's okay?
Yeah.
Okay, just checking.
Unbelievable. All that extra work for a whole lot of nothing.
Well, we got to be together.
I know, it's true. So what you want to do when you're doing this is you're pressing down and you're pulling up. Press down, pull up, press down. It's a quick pull up. You don't want to rub. Some foil applications, like design foils, you're rubbing. This is just a push and a pull. And that's how you get this kind of a look. And I like to leave, see how it leaves a little bit of a sheen? See, there's little tiny bits of extra gold. I leave that because you get a really cool, I feel like that gives it such a great finish. So, super pretty.
And Miss Alyssa says she can't wait 3 more days until camp.
Okay, so now, super vital, important step. File the edges just a bit before you top coat. The reason is that your alcohol ink a lot of times will prevent your top coat from adhering properly. So it's just a very small halo. Your clients are not going to freak out. Oh, I can see a little bit of white. Doesn't matter. It's very slight. See how slight that is? But that's what your top coat's going to stick to. So really important to make sure you file the edges so you can get a nice good adhesion. And I'm going to be using Trinity for my top coat because it has the bonding gel built in. And it will help also combat sometimes the problems you get with the alcohol ink not sticking to your top coat. So. What color are we doing your toes?
Yellow.
Okay. She was decisive, people. Let me tell you how rare.
It's usually, I don't know, Jess, what are we going to do? But that's usually when I'm her last client of the day. Then I get all diva-ish on that part. But today, we yellow right away, straight away.
All right, so I'm going to switch Trinity.
Okay.
And And if you have a heating pad, putting your Trinity on a heating pad would actually be really helpful for things like this, because when you go to top coat, it helps if it's actually even a little bit thinner than what I have going on right now. And to do that, you put it onto a heating pad for a while. So if you know you're going to be doing alcohol inks, you can, after you do your fill port, you know, you can put it on a heating pad. Some people like it always warm. They like it runny or even for the fill. It's totally preference, but I find that definitely for glossing, a little runnier is not a bad thing. So I'm going to make sure I'm getting it all the way around the edges where I had just filed, right? So I'm getting it all the way around the edges to cap that alcohol ink in there really well. That foil's making noise. It's alive. It's a little bit scary.
It didn't do what it needed to do, but now it wants to make noise.
Yeah, that's going in the garbage. I can't believe that foil didn't stick. I don't know where I got it, but it's crappy. Hold on.
Okay.
It's definitely not the foils that I usually sell. Maybe I got it out of a kit or something.
It wasn't even the same size.
Yeah, it's a small. It was a smaller foil. It looks pretty,
Yeah,
but wow, it does not work. And it's so funny. I didn't think that could be the problem at the beginning. Note to self: try a different foil and see if that's the problem before you go through and repaint the entire design.
Miss Christina said these are gorgeous. Thank you, darling. And Miss Karen said she's going to miss you this year, maybe next year.
Yes, there should be a camp next year. I don't know when. I don't know where. There's definitely not going to be probably 2 because we are working on the baby thing. So I'm missing the Oregon show this year in May because I did the camp in Florida instead. And so I've told people that normally go to the Oregon show, I will not do something in May next year so I can do the Oregon show. There you go, you guys. How pretty is that?
Fabulous.
All right, cure, please. I'm planning on doing Texas. I'm planning on doing October. However, if we go do embryo implanting in like January or February, obviously there's not going to be able to be a camp in October.
Right.
So it may be next year. It may be the year after. We will have to wait and see. I can't ever guarantee when camp is going to be because it changes. And I have a lot going on at the moment.
You got a lot of comments saying pretty. Thank you all. If you hear about a lady in Seattle just walking around waving at people for no reason, you know who it is. And then Hope says, I look forward to one next year. It's pretty small this year.
Yeah, it's expensive to do that show. So, I mean, running a booth and stuff, you're lucky to break even. It's not like camp where it's extremely affordable for educators to come and be able to be at camp. And we try to make it extremely affordable for everybody to be able to come and be at camp. Well, you know, the one show is a typical show where it's a lot for vendors to be able to afford to go. So I will still plan to do it next year, though, in May or April or whenever she plans to have it. But because it is so close to home. But for those that, you know, normally would go and shop my booth, they only have to wait 2 weeks for the Memorial Day sale, and then they can get the sale items anyway. So it's not like they have to wait very long to get the sale price on all their stock up that they might do at the trade show. Because Memorial Day is coming. It's always very busy. It used to be a holiday for me. No, it's not.
Not anymore.
No, it is not a holiday. Now we spend an insane amount of hours trying to get orders out the door before Wednesday the following week. It's just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. So
when do you return from camp? I'm just being nosy.
I get back, so we do all the laundry. after we do Disney. So we do Disney Tuesday, we do laundry Wednesday, and I fly back Wednesday night.
Oh, okay.
Because we have 70 sets of bedding to wash. So
sounds real.
I need to scout out the largest laundromat in Orlando.
Right.
And we will be going there and taking over the whole thing.
Right on.
So close that bad boy back up.
Miss Hope is excited for your sale.
Yes, everyone always is. It's big stock up time for sure. Let's flip this over. It's still inked underneath, but not quite as bad.
Okay, you ready for this one?
Yeah.
Okay.
So after that's cured, you want to just wipe it. Your Trinity does have a tacky layer, but it seals it all in super well. And see, it took off the extra that was on her skin, so that's good.
This is hotness.
That's what she was going for, yes.
Oh my gosh, this is amazing.
So I'm just going to make sure there's nothing, this is what I'm looking for, is right here. So when I file the edges, I just want to check and see that there's any gel that came down when I did that I'm taking care of it. Okay, you want to keep that gel there because it is capped in. But if anything's hanging down, you don't want to have something that people can pick at.
She knows us all very well. And Miss Christina asked a question, are you going to have the new green hot?
Oh, of course. It's my pre-order's in. I'm really close to the border, so typically as soon as they can ship it, they don't tell us. You just kind of have to guess. They're like, okay, shipping starts this date, but then you have to place another order and tell them, okay, ship it. So even though I have a pre-order in, they don't ship it until you place another order, and then you get it shipped. So it's a bit of a complicated situation.
You want the next hand?
Yes,
Okay.
please.
And
New wipe.
And Miss Debbie said no picking. Right on, Miss Debbie. Jewels, not tools.
Oh, hey, Debbie.
And Shayla said they came out gorgeous. Thank you, darling. Like I said, I stole them off of her page on another client.
There's a little bit of gel right here that I'm just going to get rid of. So if you ever get that where it's a little tiny bit that hung over, you can nip it out like that just so that there's not, like I said, you don't want a ledge, something for people to pick at. People think that we don't know when you're picking.
Don't make me slobber laughing.
We know. We know the signs of picking. And so I try my best to make sure there is nothing to be picked at.
Thank you, Jared, darling. And then when we pick, we come here with a straight face and tell you we don't know what happened.
Yeah.
It's magic.
I like when people say the words, they broke. What do you mean they broke? They don't do nothing.
Yes, they
what did you do
Don't
to
you-
them
I
to make them break?
Dare not blame us for any of the shenanigans. Just, that is too funny.
Yeah. You want to make sure you're always going in with your bit at the very end of your service and taking out the excess underneath. Really, really important, because as the natural nails grow out, they curl. And if you don't take away the excess, that is how you get separation at your free edge. And so when people are like, oh, my clients peel off their nail from underneath because it peels and blah, 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 it's because you're not doing that step. And it makes me laugh when people are like, I watch your videos all the time, but this is what happens. Make notes. Make sure you're doing that, because if you're not doing that, you are missing out on a step. This is Cuticle oil, which I absolutely love. I think I currently am using vanilla berry, but it's summer, so the next one shall be mango.
Oh, shallot.
They smell delicious. You know what else smells really good? Lilacs. My mom's tree is opened up. Do you love lilacs?
I love flowers, period.
You should go cut someone's lilacs off their tree and go put them in your bathroom, because they smell so... They're like definitely a very close runner-up to lilies, which is my favorite.
I'm going to go cut them off with my new nails and wave and run.
All right, thanks for joining us, guys. I got to run over and do her toes because my next one is coming in. We took a little bit longer than I should have, but I hope you love these. They turned out really fun. So we will talk to you guys next time, and I will try to check in from nail camp at some point, and maybe we'll do a demo on a demo. All right.
Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. See you later.